Christmas, students. I'm going to walk you guys through how to do the string art project for those of you who have any questions. So let me first show you the materials I got. I have my packet that was given to me by Mr. Shabazz. I have thread. I chose two different colors. You can choose one color. It really doesn't matter. I got green and yellow because those are our school colors. And I got needles so that I can do the sewing. And then here I have a folder. It says to get cardstock, but I mean, you can buy your own cardstock. You can use whatever backing you want, but I'm just going to use the folder for this one. So the first thing I'm going to do is just cut this into a square. I'm going to cut the little tab off here. That'll give me like a nice rectangle. And then the last page of your assignment has this on it. So this square I'm now going to cut out because that's going to be pasted on here. I know for you guys, I gave you a double-sided copy of this packet, so you're not going to be able to cut this out without destroying this page here. So if you want to know how to do that, you can go on the website and you can print out this last page and just make yourself your own copy. Couldn't find glue, so I'm using tape. So I'm going to attach this to the back. Like so. Alright, so now the project says to punch holes at these points. It says to poke out points from 0 to -10 to 0 to 10 and so forth all the way to the very end. Those have already been marked for you on the project, so you don't have to go through and read them all off. All you got to do is just punch the holes where they are marked on the paper. So I'm going to take one of my needles here and I'm just going to go through right now and punch all these out. If you have some way to protect your fingers while you're doing this, I strongly recommend it. I'm doing this just barehanded, but if you have a thimble or something like that, it'll probably be a little safer. Also, if you don't have any of that stuff, you can punch these out with a like a thumbtack or a push pin. It might be a little easier to manage. So where are we at right now? I punched all the holes out of my paper. You can see on the back, like, it should give you that kind of pattern through the back of your backing, whatever it is, whether it's a folder or cardstock. And so now I'm going to start sewing. Now before I start sewing, a couple things that you should know is that because of the size of the holes, it might be difficult to pull a knot if you were to tie a knot right against the head or the eye of the needle. it might rip the paper. So what I would suggest is that when you're threading your needle, first of all, it's important to like the end, make sure all those fibers stay together. And you're going to do something a little different. You're going to thread your needle. I don't even know if that's going to go through. No. I got a very thick thread. It's like multiple flosses. So it's going to be a little more difficult to thread. But they have tools that you can use to thread them if you're having too much difficulty, which I might need. This one's definitely not cooperating. Okay, so we got it through. So if you don't want a knot, what you can do is that you can do sort of like a double thread, which also makes it a lot stronger too. But basically I'm going to pull this all the way. Now it's tough to say how much thread you're going to need, but just for this video right now, I'm just going to pull this all the way through. So I get sort of like a double length right now. And you can see there's no knot at this end at the eye. The knot is going to be way back here at the end of the thread. And the way that you can tie that knot is that when you've got these two strands here, you can take this extra length here, fold that over so it looks like you have 3 strands. And then what I would recommend is that you use this and you start threading. You take this loose end and bring it through the loop like that, and bring it through a couple times, maybe 3 or 4 times. So I got once, twice, 3 times. I'm gonna go 4 times just to make sure. But after you get it through all those times, you can just pull that loose end like that, and it's going to give you a nice knot right there. And take your scissors, cut whatever extra thread is left. Okay. Alright, so now I've got this long sort of loop of thread. So when I stretch it, it's going to be like a double thread, and then the knot is here at the end. Like I said, the reason I do that is so I don't have to pull a knot through the paper. Now, if you look at your design here, you'll see that there's already this line that goes from this point to this point to this point. And that corresponds with what it says here. It says start, and it says moving, and it says start at -9, -9. So if I start at the origin here, I'm going to go to -9 first on the x, so -1, -2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, -9, and then -9 on the y, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, -9. So I know that my needle is going to come through at that point. So I'm going to push it through at -9, -9. It's going to come up at -9, -9. And then it's going to go down at the next coordinate, which it says is -4, -6. Now instead of eyeing it all and all that stuff, it's already set there for me. So I know my next piece of thread is going to go through that point right there at -4, -6. So that's my first line right there, and it matches up. And now I'm underneath the cardboard, and it says my next point is -3, -7. So that's going to be underneath -3, -7. So that means this is going to come up at -3, -7. And if I want to know where am I going to go down, I just look at the next point, -8, -8. So I go down at -8, -8. Now it might be useful for you is that as you're going through, you can take a pen or something like that and just scratch out those points as you go through them so that you know you've already been there. You don't have to go back to that coordinate. So now I'm just going to keep on going like that. Okay, so far I've gotten through from -9, -9 all the way to this point here, -9, -1. And now here it says go to -9, +1. So that means I'm going to come up underneath -9, +1. Then from here go to -6, +6. That's this point here. I'm basically going to be repeating the same pattern where at each point I either go in or I go out until I get to the end of this little number paragraph here. So I'll come back in when we get to the end of that. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. I've got these two corners done. I ran out of thread, so what I'm going to do is just knot that off right there and then start over wherever I left off. I guess for you guys, I would say if you still have any questions, feel free to email me. I'm happy to post more video on how to get this done. But until then, keep at it and have a good Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks.